So, you, unlike the rest of BookTube, haven't read or reread the book. I got you. I came prepared, unlike last time, with my notes and the book, so I can give you a shitty summary of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Shall we? Let's start with the premise, okay? What is the story about? Good question. So, this story is taking place in this once great nation called Rabka. And Rabka used to be like one big country, and then it was torn by two by this thing called the Shadow Fold, which is a home of monsters who eat human flesh. Cute. No one really knows how to get rid of them. You know how to defeat them. People are scared to cross this shadow fold because it's like a sea and between nation, and sometimes people have to cross it and people die because monsters eat them. No one really knows what to do until one day one girl is about to change everything. Isn't this like every YA story? But here we go. That is the premise. Okay, and now we're gonna get into her story. The girl who is going to change the world, and her name is Alina. So Alina, her story starts in an orphanage because just like every single main character in YA stories, her parents die and she lives in an orphanage, and she has a best friend called Mao. So yes, Mao is Alina's best friend. They had been best friends since they were little kids, and one day when they were 8 years old, they see Grisha. And Grisha in this world is basically the word for witches or magicians. Okay, and they come here to test Alina and Mao to see that if they are Grisha. Because if they are, they will be sent to the place called the Little Palace. It's the place where they train Grisha soldier, and after they train, they will be sent to work as soldiers in the Second Army. But if they are not, they are going to be sent to the First Army, also known as the King's Army, which is a non-Grisha army. And there's that. Then we go to the next chapter, the first chapter. Okay, it has been years later. I don't really know how old they are because in the book, when I read it, it sounds like they are in their 20s. But this book is considered a YA fantasy, so I don't really know. Don't ask me. But it has been years, and both of them, Alina and Mao, they are now working for the First Army. So I guess when they got tested, it turns out that they're not Grisha. So now they are working for the First Army. Mao is working as a tracker, and Alina is working as a map maker, and she is not even good at it. In this particular day, okay, Alina isn't having the best time because the next day will be the first time ever that she will have to cross the unsea, also known as the Shadowfold. And she's thinking to herself, the king is basically just sent me to die, and I don't really know how to feel about this. Meanwhile, Mao, he is having a great time, okay? He is so happy, and Alina even see him skipping, and she's like, what the hell? There is 99.99% chance that we are going to die tomorrow, and you are skipping? And he just looks at her. Hey, chill, girl, chill. We have Grisha. Okay, we have Grisha. When we, on that ship, when we go there, when we cross it, we have Grisha. We even have that creepy bartenders to help us. And we have a rifle, okay? It's gonna be fine. You just worry too much. Chill. And she's like, whatever. And they just keep walking down the street and talking. And when they're walking, Alina will see girls looking at Mao and then just, kind of like, yeah. And then Mao will be like, because he just, he's grow up and now looking all handsome and shit, and every girl wants him. Meanwhile, Alina is just an ordinary girl, okay? She is nothing special, and everyone wants to be her friend, only just so they can get closer to Mao and bang him or be banged by him. So she just look at Mao, her friend, and then the girl, and just, rolls her eyes and is like, whatever, man, whatever. And after that, she just goes back to her job map maker, and then she met her co-worker, which is Alexa, and then they working, and after that they go back to their housing, and eventually Elena is just done eating. I don't think she even eats anything, just pick on her food and just go to her room and sleeps, get ready for the next day. And then the next day comes, the day that they have to go through that damn shadow fold, and of course, they got attacked by the monster. The monsters they call Wokra. Yeah, the Wokra got Alexa. I was really sad when I read that. Yeah, he died. And now, Alina, she was really sad when she see that. But now, the Wokra is, trying to attack her. And then Mao throw himself to her and they both fall down. And the Wokra gets to Mao and then it used its claw and trying to take him away. And then for some reason in that moment, Elena, why am I holding my hair? Elena just she has enough. She gets really mad. She's like, you killed my friend Alexa and now you're trying to take my best friend away. Who do you think you are? And she just she get really worked up and she gets so fucking angry, and suddenly a light just bursts from her. And Alina's, she doesn't really know what's going on. She cannot see anything. She just see the light and then she faints. Once she wakes up again, they are already out of the shadow fold and she's like, what is happening? What is going on? She's in a tent and she's trying to figure out what's going on. She sees soldiers just watching her and then they freak out when she wakes up. They're like, oh my gosh, she's wake up! Ah! And just get really scared of her. And then someone comes to get her, and then there he is, the Darkling. He just like, no, he's not walking. Someone walks Alina to him, and he just look at Alina like, ooh. Ew. Because turns out Alina is not an ordinary girl after all. Because the light is actually comes from her. Like we know that, but she doesn't know. And turns out she is a sun summoner and she accidentally uses her power to save Mao. Now the Darkling, he's like, girl, you are a sun summoner. When she hears that, she's like, what? Me? No, sir. No, sir. I'm just a map maker. And he's like, no. Girl, you are a sun summoner and you and I are going to change the world. So after that, they take Elena to the place called the Little Palace. And on the way there, one of the soldiers feels something. So he tells her to like, shoo, shut up, bitch. Stop talking. Turns out he was right. Someone is trying to attack them. It is an assassin from another nation. So now they start running. Well, not running. They're in the carriage and they start to go really fast. She doesn't want to get killed and no one want her to get killed because she is a very, very important person now. They try to get away, right? But that assassin gets to them and things are looking bad. Things are not looking well at all, and she's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Luckily the Darkling comes to rescue her and the other soldier and just kill the assassin. He just used his power and just chop the guy in half. Alina see that and she's like, shit, I know he's scary, but did I just see him chop that guy in half? His head, his shoulder, his arm, they're gone. She shook. She shooken. And the Darkling, he just like, yeah, I did it. It's no big deal. I do it all the time. After that guy's dead, they take a break and just chilling. And this is when the Darkling and Elena start to get to know each other. She asks him some question. He asks her some question. How old are you? And the Darkling is like 102 years old. And finally, they get to the little palace. After all of that, she's like, thank God. Turns out the little palace is not so little at all. She look at it, she's like, Wow. Wow. It's not like places that she had been at the orphanage or the housing where they have to share showers and bed. You know, they have to share everything. And now she has her own room. She even have her own maid or servant. I don't think that person is her servant. Which now there's a new character and her name is Jenya. She is also Grisha. They call her Teller, but I would say she is like a glamour where she has the ability to make you look not like this dark circle. She able to glam you, give you a glow, clear skin, things like that. And she will be the one who helped Alina get ready to meet the king. And the reason why Jenya comes to help her because the Darkling know that the king loves beauty. He doesn't care about anything else. If he see beautiful woman, he's like, ooh, you know? And the Darkling needs to impress the king so Alina can stay in the palace. The coat calls Kepta, and the Darkling tells the fabricator to make Alina's Kefta black, and she's like, no, excuse me, I just want it to be blue, just like any other summoner, because she already gets enough attention and she doesn't want any more of that. That just really makes her really uncomfortable. And the Darkling is like, are you sure? And she's like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Please just get me the blue one, okay? And when the Darkling leaves, he's like, fine, whatever. Jenya, she was shocked. She's like, black, that's the Darkling color, and no one really gets to wear that color. Why? You know, why would you refuse that? Are you stupid? Alina, she's like, nah, I don't want it because I don't want any more attention. After that, they go to meet the king, and then when the king see her, he is really impressed, not just with her clothes, but also her power. The king was like, woo, that is so cool. And so now she is staying there in the little palace and then to be trained to, oh, I didn't tell you at all, right, why they are so impressed that she is a sun summoner, because first of all, it's rare for anyone to be able to call the light the sun. Second of all, the Walkra, you know, the monsters that eat people flesh, they are scared of light. So if Alina is able to use her power and, you know, use the light to get rid of the Walkra and then, you know, get rid of the shadow food, because that's the goal. That's the goal that the Darkling, you know, tells her that. And yeah, so now it's time for training. After meeting the king, Jenya is giving her a tour, right? But it's actually not a tour. Alina gets tricked. Jenya takes her to a room and she's like, oh, and this is the room. And then she said, well, it's nice to meet ya. Goodbye. It's time to meet her first mentor. Bagra is the one who will be training Alina power. She asks Alina to call the light, and then when she's not able to call it, Bagra is like, do it again. And then Alina is not able to do it, and she's like, do it again. And then she say it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. You know, just keep going like that. And Alina is like, shit, what am I getting myself into? And she is all tired. And then she just goes to bed and sleep. First is her magic training, right? But now is combat training time. It's time to learn to fight, because the Darkling, he doesn't want his soldier to rely on their magic, you know, just in case shit happens, and they need to fight with their hands. So they need to learn how to do that. And of course, Alina sucked at it, and she just feel like shit. She cannot call on her magic, and then she also cannot fight with her hands. She's like, why am I here? And the Darkling calls her in and just kind of talk to her like, yeah, what's up? You know, how are you? How's your first day? How's your training? And she's like, it was fine. And then he also asked her about Mao. When he asked about Mao, he asked like, oh, is he a tracker? And it's like, he's good at it. And now that I think of it, I'm like, he was planning. He's planning. Anyway, yeah, Alina, she is really relieved because she is really scared of the Darkling, you know, and she cannot do shit. She thinks that, you know, he's gonna punish her. The Darkling was like, I'm not a monster. Come on. And she's like, good, but not that great because remember the combat class, she also really sucked at it. So her instructor Watkins asked her to come in the early morning to train with him, and she just like, for the next few months, that's all she does. She's training with Bagra and Bakken, powder magic, and then there's Bakla tell her, do it again, not good enough, do it again. And Baklin just, like, girl, come on, duck down, punch me, come on, for months. That's what she does. She's training, she hustling, trying to get better. But still, she doesn't get better. Oh, and not only that, she also has to learn the Grisha terminology, the history, because all the Grisha, since they, remember, every kid get tested and see if they are Grisha. If they are, they sent to this place to get trained since they were kids. But not Alina, so now she has to catch up. She would go to classes with her mentors. If she's not there, she would go to the library. She kind of misses out a lot of things, Her friends or other summoners try to invite her to play or to do something or train with them, but she always refuses because she's really ashamed and embarrassed that she cannot call on her power and she doesn't want anyone to know. She basically has no friends. She just put her head down and just keep working, and eventually it pays off because there is one Grisha. Yeah, what is her name? Zaya. I'm gonna call her Saya because that shit. For Thai people, we don't do no, we don't do that. So I'm gonna call her Saya. Like I said, Alina is training and hustling and educating herself, and it finally pays off. In the combat class, we have Saya. This girl, she's like, I am the best. And in that combat class, Watkins, he pair up Saya with Elena, and Saya, she's happy because right now everyone is looking up to Elena. She's like the saint, the savior, the sun summoner who is going to save the country. And Saya is like, this bitch, she's nothing, okay? And I'm gonna show you. And they fight, but guess what? Elena wins. She wins. And Saya was pissed. She's so pissed that she uses her power to knock Elena out. And in the combat class, Grisha are not allowed to use their magic. So Saya, after that, she gets in trouble. The Darklings calls her in, and then she comes out of his room, his office, not like his bedroom, and cries. Yeah, and after that, Saya never tries to mess with Elena again. This is the midpoint of the story where Elena, she started to get her confident and just get better. She thinks to herself, you know what? I think I might be able to do this. Not only that, now the approach. Do you remember the creepy guy? He tells her that people outside of the palace is now looking up to her as the same level as the saints. This girl is going to save us, and they pray to her. They really look up to her. They even have pictures of her hanging on their wall and just pray. And that's when Alina realized that this thing is bigger than she thinks. If she fell, she won't only fail the Darkling, but she will also fail her entire country. But even though she gets better, with her combat training, when it comes to her power, not so much. Yes, she gets better, but not good enough, okay? Bagra, she's like, yeah, you're good, but you're not great. The Darkling, while she's training, the Darkling comes into the room and he told Bagra, stop being so hard on her, man. Stop it. And because I have a solution. Guess what I have? And his solution is to get her an MP flyer. There's a human MP flyers, the living MP flyers, like the Darkling and Bagra, who can MP fly other people's power. And there's animals who are MP flyers, and people can use their bone. Grisha would kill them and then use their bone and carry them and use that, like to amplify the power. And that is what the Darkling is planning to do. For Alina, he's planning to use the here we go, the Morozova, which is an ancient deer who is the most powerful amplifier in their world. And Bagra is like, that animal is not real, that is fairy tale folklore, that is bullshit, okay? Stop trying to sell the girl the things that ain't gonna happen. And the Darkling is like, stop. Just stop. I know what I'm talking about. So Alina tells him, alright, okay, let's get that deer. Let's get that stack. While everything is going on. Remember Mao? The guy, the best friend that Alina, I didn't say it, but she's kind of in love with him and she hasn't seen him in a while and she misses him. She's wondering how he's doing. So she asked Jenya to just go ask around, how he's doing. I want to know. Because Alina has been sending him letters and he never replies, and now she's like, is he dead? That would make me really sad, So she wants to know, and Jenya comes back and tell her that your friend, or your man, whatever, he is alive and well. And now Alina is thinking, but why he is not, why is he not answering me? Why is he not writing me back? What's up with that? Now she's pissed. She's really pissed. And then I'm not sure. I think, is this before and after? Anyway, it doesn't matter. She goes to Bagra for another training session, and then Bagra says something just really hit Alina there. Not her boobs, but her heart, her feeling. Because Alina agrees to use, to whatever the Darkling said, okay, fight a deer. Fine, fight a deer because, I cannot really call my power, so he's right. And Bagra is like, girl, come on, stop trying to suppress your power. You can do it. You just do this for a guy. She just saying something that really pissed her off and then got her thinking and then just really hit her in the feeling. And suddenly out of nowhere, she gets a flashback when she was a kid. On the Grisha exam day, she just remembered that she already knew it all along that she was a Grisha. But the reason why she kind of forget it is when the Grisha comes to test her, and Mao, she doesn't want to be separated from him, so she just kind of suppress her power, lock it down there deep down there inside her that she doesn't even remember about it. And then now she getting worked up because she is mad at Mao for not writing her back, and she's like, you jerk, I suppress, okay? I hide my magic just so I can be with you, and now you don't even write me back. She's get really mad, and then suddenly the light just bursts out of her, and she's like, "Ooh, my God, I did that! No more. I'm not going to hide who I am anymore." And that's when she's she releases her power, and now she's like the bad bitch now. And after that, guess what? She's now healthy. Now she's able to sleep. For the first time, she's able to sleep through the night. She finally feels alive. For I don't know how many years. I still don't know how old she is. And since she's now doing really well, especially in the combat class, her instructor gives her a steel. It's like a knife, but it can't even kill Grisha. I don't know, it's some special kind of shit, when you are doing really well in class and you being rewarded. That's when things kind of change a little bit, because now Alina, she finally feels like she's belong in this palace. Because before that, she cannot control her power, she cannot do anything, and then even though she started to get better, she still feel like she's not really a part of them. So when she gets that gift from him, it just changed something. Just like, okay, I belong here. Oh, okay, I know why. The reason why he gives her that, because she was able to hit him, and he's like, thank you for hitting me. here's a gift. But yes, there's another but. Yes, she releases her full power. It's still, again, it's still not good enough. Bakra is like, it's good, but it's not great. Yeah, they still need to fight that ancient deer. Still need to do that. And then somehow okay, this scene just caught me off guard when I was reading it one night. She just talked with the Darkling, and then he is walking her to her room or somewhere, and then in the middle of that, he just kissed her. She just goes back to her room and just think to herself, what just happened? And same, I was reading that and I was like, boy, what did you just do? What just happened? Alina has the same question. I have it in my note. It said, Darkling kissed Alina. And then there's a bracket and it said, what now, bro? To me, that scene and cute. That was weird. Like, you just talk and then just boom. And then it's like, oh my god, I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so now it's winter, okay? And in Rabka, I wanted to do that. They have a festival, a ball. It's called a winter or the winter fete, where non-Grisha or like nobles, you know, all those fancy people come to the little palace to see Grisha perform. To perform their power, including Alina. She's like the big gun of this fete. She is the first sun summoner and people really excited to see her. She gotta give them the show. And not only that, with this winter fete, they're gonna go big. The Darkling decides to put the matter in his own hands and change Alina clothes and just give her the black one. It's like, we're gonna go big, okay? Because, and also you're mine, you know, to show everyone that you are mine. And then it's showtime, so she goes down and she's like, she absolutely is a showstopper. When she gets out there, everyone just have their jaw just like drop. Like, she performs with the Darkling, and it was so cool. And everyone is clapping. At the end of the show, Alina is really happy with herself, and the Darkling is also, you know, tells her like, oh, good job. Then the Darkling takes her to like an empty room, and they are making out. You know, the Darkling just go all in, tongue and tongue, and just, and they stop. And then he's going in again, and then he stopped. And now Alina looks at him and he just looks angry, and Alina thinks to herself, why is he angry? Like, is he angry at me? He's like, I'm supposed to be with the soldier, you know, the meeting, because there's something really important. One of the trackers found the deer, and he's like, I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be talking to my soldiers, but I'm with you. He's kind of angry at himself, something like that. But then they make out again, and then I think someone banging at the door, and so they kind of stop. The Darkling kind of like, let's just call it, you know. And then before he leave, he asks her, can I go see you tonight? And she doesn't know what to say. She just stands there and just, the Darkling doesn't wait for her answer because it was way too long, so he just leaves. And then when she's walking back to her room, she sees a soldier. I think she walked past the Darkling's office, and then she hears the soldiers talking, and then now they are getting out, so she kind of hides. I don't know why she hides. Anyway, and then when she comes out, she sees one of the soldier, and that soldier is no other than Mao. And then she screams. She's so excited, and then she runs to him. It's like, Mao, Mao. That was it. And then she jumped and hugged him and just like, oh my god, you are here. Oh my god. Oh my god. He just standing there and is like, and he tells his fellow soldier to just go, and they are talking. And then there's this one Mao is being a dick. It's like, well, you better now, you better than me now, you're here. And then Alina, she's saying something, but you know, she's saying something like, you don't know what it's like to be here. And Mao's like, excuse me, so wow, your life is so hard being here in this fancy place wow, that must be hard for you. And then they start arguing. Somehow, Darkling is mentioned in their conversation, and then he said, like, Miles says something like, he's all over you. Shit like that. And then Alina gets really mad. They are mad at each other. And when he says that, Alina is like, guess what? He has a chain on you too. Like, who are you working for right now? Who are you tracking for? And it's the Darkling. And so Ma's like mad. He's mad because she's right. Eventually, Alina is like, fine. And Ma's like, fine. And they just kind of parted. Yeah, and Alina is crying, and then she's back in her room. Maybe she's not. Is she? I do not remember. But somehow Bagra manages to snatch Alina away from her room and then takes her to like a basement and then tells her, you know, what is actually happening right now, and then just gives her old clothes, some money, and a bag, and tell her, you need to leave this place right now. Alina is like, say what now? She's confused, okay? First, she was making out with the Darkling, and then she saw Mao, and she was really happy, and then she wasn't happy after what just came out of his mouth. You know, the thing he said. And then he was crying. So she went from shocking, happy, angry, sad, and now confused because now Bagra just tells her to leave. What? And Bagra tells her, you know, what is actually going on and Darkling's true intention, why he brought her here. And his true intention is to use her to open the shadow fold so he can use it as a weapon. Alina's like, what? That's not true. And Bagra is like, girl, guess what? I'm his mother. And I know my son. I know what he's up to. He is not who you think he is. Okay? And Alina has another, what? What? Bagra is his mom? Because the Darklings, like, he doesn't like Bagra. He told her that Bagra was his mentor, but he never really said anything about her being his mom. Now he's thinking, okay, if he lied about that, what else is he lying? She also started thinking back about things that the Darkling said, and she started to question him, and then she started to get angry because now she realizes that, yeah, he is using me. You son of a bitch. No offense, Bagra. So, she trusts Bagra, and Bagra tells her what to do, okay? Go to this and turn to that. Yeah. So, and Alina trusts her, and then she runs away. She runs, and then she changes her clothes to something really like baggy and, you know, like not like that black dress. She gets pretty far before she almost get caught because there's this weird dude trying to get into her pants, and then she's trying to protect herself, so she used her power, and then soldiers come out to look at the situation, and that creepy guy said, she blinded me. And then the soldiers looks at her. He's like, found you. And she runs. She just keep running and running. She runs into the wood and just, you know, she really on a run now. Eventually, Mao finds her, and then he tricks other soldiers to get away from her. Now he also on a run with her. You know, now he's helping her. And he tells Alina that, oh, remember that deer that the Darkling needs to find? Yeah, Bangra also tells Alina that once the Darkling killed that deer and then got that bone and just put it on her neck, he's in control of her if that happens. Because whoever killed the amplifier is in control, or like will get its power. So even though, like, sure, when she has that amplifier, yes, she will have the power, but the Darkling is in control of that power. Okay, yeah, there's that. Okay, I'm glad we all caught up. Okay, so Mao told her that the Darkling won't be able to find the deer without him because he was the one who, you know, who see that damn deer that is so important. At first, Alina didn't tell Mao anything, you know, what is going on, but eventually she does. Then Mao said, girl, guess what? If you go to the unsea, the shadow fold, eventually those guys are going to catch up with you. Even they don't. Are you gonna be on a run forever? Don't do it. Instead, let's make another plan. We're going to hunt that deer ourselves. Get it before they do. After that, you're gonna have the power and you are going to be able to defeat the Darkling. And Alina is like, I don't know about that, dude. Can we do that? Just the two of us? And Mom is like, come on. The two of us, we always have each other. We always find a way. We can do it. So we're just like, okay, sure. Let's do it. So now they, instead of going to the shadow fold, they decide to go to another direction and they go straight up north. But on the way, they are hungry, right? They need supplies. They need food. So they went to a village. They go there, they get some food, and it's all good and shit until two idiots try to rob them. At first, it's fine. And then one of the robbers see Miles' rifle. And that's when he realized, hey, this is the guy. This is the soldier that on the run. And the king, the Darkling, those powerful men, they're looking for this guy. And we're gonna get even more money if we take him in. Because the rifles that Mao has is specially made for those soldiers, like the first army. It's made specially for them. But luckily, Mao and Alina are able to get away from them. But unfortunately, because now they are leaving trail. Now people know that they are here instead of at the shadow fold. So now the Darkling and his army know where they are. So now they have to go even faster. And Mao is really mad at himself because he was the one who decide that they need to go to the market to get some food. So he's blaming himself, and Alina just kind of like, well, that's fine. At least we got this butter roll. You want to try some? And Mao started laughing and it's like, this better be a fucking good of a roll, okay? Because we almost die for it. And then they start laughing, and somehow that moment, it takes them back to when they were kids, and now they're friends again. They start to get closer again. They start talking to each other again, tells each other what's up, what had been going on with their life, things like that. Yeah, it starts snowing, so it makes their life even harder. Now it's even harder to cover the track. And before this, Alina didn't use her power at all to build fire or keep them warm, because Mao was worried that when they do that, people will see them. But now it's snowing, so it's either that it's either they're gonna die because someone sees them, or they're gonna be freezing to death. So either way, she's like, you know what, let me help. So she uses her power to keep them warm, and then use their coat and just cover up. And they're all cute and just snuggling together. Yeah, that was a cute moment. And while they're having that moment, oh, we're getting close. The next day, after that, they wakes up and there's snow everywhere. Not only that, it's hard to cover their track, but it's hard now because now they up north, right? They are now in the area where the deer is located, and Mao is really disappointed because even if the deer was there at night, he won't be able to track them down because the snow is covering it up. Their tracks, they're gone. But Alina is like, it's okay, just keep walking. And somewhere in there, these two are kind of having a moment. They're having a moment. And Mao touches Alina's cheek and just, they just look at each other in the eyes. All romantic and shit in the middle of nowhere. And they are kissing. Mao also confesses his love to Alina, and he says something like, it's always been you, or I've always loved you, or I'm sorry I didn't know it until now. I don't know what he says, man, but he said that he's in love with her, basically. And while they were kissing, Mao or Alina, both of them, I guess, they catch something, sight or their eye while they were making out, and then they stop making out, they turn, and then they see it, the damn deer, the stag, that deer that they risking their life, that deer is here, and they're like, hooray. So Mao getting his ball, did I say ball? His ball. I can't pronounce it. The thing, it's like, I cannot shoot it, you have to do it, but I'll catch it, but you have to kill it, okay? And then Alina is like, no, don't kill it. I have another plan. I'm gonna figure something else. And Mao was like, girl, you need to do it right now before those people come and get it, okay? Fast. Come on. But Alina is like, I got this. And then she's walking to the deer. And the deer looks at her. And she's looking at the deer. The deer and her are having a moment. And then bang! The deer gets shot or stabbed. Something. Someone kills it and it's no other than the Darkling. And the Darkling just walked out. I don't know where he was hiding. He's like, you should listen to him, Alina, because now I got you. And the deer dead. And now David, I never really mentioned him, but he is the guy that Jenya is in love with. He's the one who worked with metal, silver, and gold, that kind of stuff. So they cut the deer's bone and then they make it David makes it into necklace, and now it's on Alina's neck, and now the Darkling has full control over her, and now Mao is all chained up, and now they're fucked, and now they're going back to the palace. The Darkling's plan is back on track again, but here's the thing, no one knows she ran away because the Darkling, he doesn't want anyone to know that, because first, if the news gets out, the people from other city or nation is going to kill Alina. And second of all, is going to embarrass him if the people in the palace knew. He didn't tell anyone. He just said that Alina is just preparing for whatever. He just spit out bullshit and people believe him. And when she gets back, she doesn't get back to her own bedroom. Now she's in a tent and she has to pretend that nothing happens or the Darkling is going to kill Mao. Now everything in the palace changes. The king is now ill and the apparatus is now kinda not taking over but taking his place. Eventually Ivan, one of the Darkling's soldier, came to get Alina and then to see the Darkling, and he kind of plays with her, you know, like mind game and shit, make her think that he will spare her and Mao. And what he does is that he's going to kill Mao, but he's going to let Alina say goodbye to him. And then he says to Alina, this is all the mercy traitors get. And then Ivan takes Alina to meet Mao in the prison, and you know, Mao knows what's gonna happen to him. They just say goodbye for the last time. They just cuddling, and it's like it was all sad. They takes whatever time they has left with each other and just make the best of it. And finally, it's time. Now they are entering the unsea, the Shadowfall. They enter it. Then the Darkling controls Alina and then tells her to get rid of the thingy, the shadow, and just call in the light. Good job, May. And she does, because he is controlling her and she doesn't have any control over her power at all. She just hear he say something in her mind and then her body just do it. They do that and then everyone is happy. It's like, oh my god, the Shadowfall is gone. They're not totally gone, but like now there is the light in the shadow, so the monsters cannot really get to them and people are really happy, you know, the monsters cannot get to them. But then the Darkling does something even worse than everyone can ever imagine. Now the light, you know, people come out, people from the other side come to see the light and they are really happy about it. But then the Darkling orders Alina to take the light away from those people, and now, you know, over there's a shadow, and monsters love shadow. When there's no light, the monsters can go there and attack people, and that's exactly what's happening. So people at first, they're really happy. They say like, oh my god, we're saved. But no, you're not. The monsters get to them and people die, and Alina tries really hard to like save them, but she cannot control her power. Then her worst fear is happening. The soldiers throws Mao, release Mao on an island? Oh no, because it's the unsea. Oh my god, I just realized that the unsea is actually not the sea, it's just like a shadow. So the Darkling order the soldiers to leave Mao in the shadow and then order Alina to put the light away from Mao so the monsters can kill him. And now Alina is like, oh my god, I need to do something. So she has another realization. That's what she does, you know. from time to time, she would get like a Tiffany out of nowhere, and this is one of them is happening. She's like, oh my god, because after the deer died, she keeps getting nightmare. And at that time, she thought it was a nightmare. But now that she really thinks about it, it's not a nightmare. It's the deer. And it comes here to tell her the truth that when Alina's spares life is like the power is the strength that the Darkling will never have. And here's the thing that I write down is that I have spared the stag's life. The power of that life belonged to me as surely as it belonged to the man who had taken it. And then suddenly she has control over her power again. And the Darkling, he is shooken, okay? He's like, what is happening? And Alina, once that happens, she turned to other people because they too know what the Darkling is actually like his real plan. What he is actually planning to do. So she turns to them. You see what he's doing, and now please help me. Please come join me to defeat him. Something like that. But people, they're not gonna do anything. So because now Alina has to choose, she has the power. She either uses her power to save all these people in the ship, or she can save Mao. And when those people refuse to help her, refuse to do something about the Darkling, she's like, okay, I make up my mind. And then she runs to Mao and chooses to save him. She gets off the ship and then she takes him with her, or he takes her, I don't know. They just run together to the other side. Now there's no light on the ship, so the monster just do its thing and kills all those people on the ship. Alina and Mao, they run to the west and they hear some rumors about the ships. People die and people blame each other. Some blame Gracia for what happened. People think Alina is dead, and they also think the Darkling is dead as well, but no one can really confirm that. And no, he is definitely not dead because there are 2 more books. And while all of that happens, now Alina and Mao, now they're on the ship and just cuddling with each other, and it said they are orphans again, with no true home but each other and whatever life they can make together on the other side of the sea. That was cute. That is some cute shit. Do you like the show or the book better? Let me know down in the comments. If not, just punch the like button in the neck and check out this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!